We started a podcast.
Let's unpack the magic.
Hi, I'm Tyler.
And I'm Sammy.
And welcome to the Team Unicorn Podcast. This is going to be episode 1 of hopefully very many episodes to come.
Yes.
This is very exciting. This is something that we wanted to do for quite some time now. And we actually just decided to go ahead and do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. So this is going to be the first episode of the Team Unicorn Podcast. We're going to go through and just do a little bit of an introduction to us, get to know us a little bit better for those who don't, or for those, that we were friends in high school or, just lost touch along the way, get to reacquaint ourselves and
get to know us now.
Get to know us now and what's all going on. So obviously we started a podcast, and this is something that I've kind of joked around for a while. I thought it was going to be like starting a podcast during the pandemic was like the perfect time to do it because you didn't have anything to do. You were at home anyway. Mm-hmm. And it just feels it's funny that we've waited until like now that the pandemic is pretty much all said and done and over with.
Yep.
Now we've like, now it's the perfect time.
Yeah. To start a podcast. Now is the time to do it. So, well, better late than never, I guess.
Right. But we've always talked about wanting to do something like this.
Yeah, we definitely get into conversations about many different topics. A lot of them Disney or Marvel movies, discussing them, and we just really get into it, and we're just this would make a really good podcast topic or episode or something. I don't know how many people care about what we have to say, but we're going to find out. We really enjoy talking about all different kinds of things. And I think for the most part, we tend to agree on a lot of things, but there are times when we disagree, and that gets fun. So,
yeah. And we've definitely liked the idea of doing something like this. I know for when we first started dating, I was really big into watching the Shaytards video, Shay Carl, remember that?
Yeah.
To the point where I had my own little, I don't even remember what the camera's called, but it was a flip camera.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And I remember I got one of those, and we're gonna start one of these daily vlogs. We're gonna be just like Shay Carl and his family. And spoiler alert, that never happened.
No, that never happened.
But then, so that kind of fell through, and then we got really big into Disney, just probably within the last 4 years. We've always been huge Disney fans.
We've always been huge Disney fans, but we had never been to the parks. So our first time going to the parks, just really opened up this whole new world to us, and discovering vloggers, people that go to the parks daily and they make episodes and film all this content, and that just sounds
really appealing and fun.
So fun. I want to do that. So I think starting this podcast is our way of doing that. We get to get creative, we get to discuss topics and get into the Disney magic and all of that stuff.
And just talk more about the stuff that we genuinely love to talk about. And it's something that it just, with how everything's just been going on lately, it just feels like a really good time right now to start it. I feel like we're both in a really good headspace to start there's something new. This seemed very scary, and this is still kind of something scary to do for the first episode here. But this just seems like it's a really good time to do it. It's a good time to try something new. Yeah, and sure. I'm very excited to see where this podcast takes us.
Yeah.
So you're probably, obviously you're listening or watching. If so, thanks.
Yes, thank you so much.
And you're probably wondering, what's this Team Unicorn? Why do they call themselves Team Unicorn? And there's a very specific reason that we do call ourselves Team Unicorn.
Yeah, we've been calling ourselves Team Unicorn. It came up, I don't know, a few years ago,
We've been at least 3 or 4 years. I feel. So it's been a while. We're Team Unicorn, and you guys are probably wondering, well, what does Team Unicorn mean? So we kind of equate it to what a unicorn is. A unicorn is very magical. It's very unique. It's very rare. And that's kind of how we like to describe our relationship. It's not something that's that we take for granted. Like, we're very fortunate to have one another, and we're very fortunate to have that type of relationship with one another. It's just like, I just feel like it's such a rare thing that we have. It's such a good, strong connection and bond that we have. That's like, it's like a unicorn.
It's like a unicorn.
It's so mythical. It's so magical. And so that's why we started calling ourselves that. And for anyone that like is friends with us on Facebook or Instagram, like, you already know that we call ourselves that all the time.
Yeah, we've done the hashtag Team Unicorn.
The hash brown.
Hash brown.
Well, so if you don't get that joke, it's from Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. She doesn't understand the term hashtag. So she started calling it hash brown. And ever since we saw that episode, that's all we do. So like, when I see like that symbol, like, it's in my mind, it's just, oh, it's hash brown. Then I'll say it out loud, and then people are like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Like, he's so crazy, like, talking about hash browns. I'm like, no. So it's hashtag or hash brown Team Unicorn.
Yes.
All right. Speaking of Instagram and hashtags or hash browns, we are on the socials. We have obviously a YouTube page and an Instagram page. Those are going to be our main pages to get information about us, or to see the video version of the podcast. We are also on Spotify, not Apple, Amazon, and Anchor for our main audio podcast experience. You can find us all on all those at Team Unicorn Podcast.
Yes. So go check us out.
Yes. And all the links will be in our Instagram page. We'll have a link in there to all of the different places you can experience us at. So we're very excited to not only show you or give you this podcast and kind of let you in on our conversations that we have, but just to kind of give you a little bit more behind the scenes and background as to what we're doing here. And
for sure. We'll be on Instagram, I think, quite a bit. So
yes, I'm very excited to show you guys everything that we're kind of doing back here behind the scenes on Instagram. And that's where we'll show you like what's coming up for, future weeks and what we got going on. And very excited for that.
Yeah.
Perfect. So we just wanted to start today as a getting to know us podcast. You may have known us like your entire life, or you may have known us for just a couple years, or just recently met us, or you might be a complete stranger, which is super cool. And if that is the case, we just want to make sure everyone knows who we are and what we want to accomplish from this podcast.
Yeah.
All right. So today we wanted to start today's episode, our first episode, as just an introductory to us and getting to know us. Some of you have known us your entire life. Some of you have known us for just a couple years, or maybe some of you we just met, or completely strangers to us. You just found us online and thought the podcast sounded fun. And if so, thank you for joining us.
Yes.
We just wanted to get you guys a little acquainted with us, so you guys know what's going on with us and what we have going on. And so we get to know us a little better.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'll start. My name's Tyler. I am 32 years old. I absolutely am a huge Marvel fan, have been for many, many years. One of my favorite things growing up was that there was always like a big Marvel movie on my birthday. Like the first couple Spider-Man movies were like happened on my birthday. So I was very excited that I had those big blockbuster movies. So that's what kind of gave me into Marvel. I'm also a very big Packer fan. We live in Green Bay. So it's kind of like a requirement around here to be a Packer fan.
Although if you're not, we'll still be nice to you.
Right. I really enjoy reading comics. My current favorite comic right now is Saga by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. So if you are looking for a recommendation, there is my recommendation for a really awesome comic. And one thing about me, and well, I guess us both, and you can tell by, if you're watching the YouTube, you can tell by behind us here, we are very big avid Funko collectors. We have quite the collection here.
Yeah.
We'll get into that in a different episode. Yes, we've got something planned for that, but I'm very big into collecting Funkos. We both are. So that's something that I'm very interested in. And Something I like to do in my spare time is I like to edit pictures of all of our Disney trips. I like creating photo books. I really enjoy that. I think that it just makes, um, that's like the final thing of going on a trip is having like this really like the tangible photo book that's like really pretty and really nice to look at. So like that's one of my favorite things to do is work on those photo books.
All right, that's awesome. So I'm Sammy. I am 31 years old, and I love Disney and dogs. We have 2 rescue dogs, Maya, who is just about 16 years old. Lacey is 3.5-ish years old. And we love them so much. And let's see, what else do I love? I love coffee. I love all things rose gold. I love collecting loungefly and mini ears. I have a little collection of loungefly. I've really tried to tone it down and figure out what I really like.
But the ears, we definitely have quite a big. I think we are closing in on like what 20?
About 20 pairs of
or
ears. So, and that's just within like the last like 2 years, and so, but we love them, and I just love matching them to my Disney outfits. I love it when we have a trip coming up, planning all of my outfits for the day and which ears go with which outfit. So yeah, and then when I'm not in the Disney parks, I still dress like I'm at the Disney parks. That's pretty much all I wear are Disney t-shirts.
It's like a requirement around the house. Like
pretty much.
You need to be wearing a Disney shirt.
Yeah.
I think if I'm not at work, it's 100% like a Disney or Star Wars or Marvel shirt.
Yeah.
It's nothing else other than that.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, and then lately I've been into crocheting. I've been teaching myself how to. I've watched so many videos and I'm getting down the basics, so hopefully I can make some really cute things. But I've been working on that lately and I've really have been enjoying that. And what else do we do? We do puzzles. We have quite a few puzzles up there. And I do like reading, which both of those I don't make enough time for. But
and you mentioned we got the 2 dogs. We love taking the dogs on a walk. We've been married for about 10 years now.
Yep, 10 years in July.
July will be 10 years. So that'll be very excited to share a little bit of our anniversary with everyone listening or watching.
Yeah, we'll for sure do an anniversary podcast, so you can stay tuned for that.
And if we haven't made it very obvious or evident so far, we are very much Disney fans, the Disney adults, the childless millennials. We definitely fit all of those descriptions really, really well. And that's what I think this podcast is going to be primarily about. It's going to be very Disney focused or centric. But that's not to say that's going to be everything that we're going to talk about.
Oh, no. Like, we definitely have love for other topics and fandoms. So there's definitely going to be Marvel, Star Wars, Harry Potter.
Funko.
Yep, Funko. Probably Broadway musicals in there, too, because we definitely enjoy those. Yeah, so it's just going to be just a little bit of everything that we love and things that we like discussing, and we hope that you guys like that too. So hopefully you want to know what we have to say and we can maybe bring a different perspective to things because we are the childless millennial adults. So when we're going to the parks, we don't have kids with us.
Well, we do sometimes bring Jay, and he's kind of like a big kid. Jay is my uncle. He is very much a huge Disney fan, just like us. We've gone on several trips with him, and we have hopefully some more planned coming up here. So we definitely do enjoy the parks a lot. A lot of the content that we kind of have planned so far is going to be, I should say a lot of the content, but some of the content that we have planned so far is going to be park-centric stuff. So some of our favorite parks, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But so it's not just going to be just straight like Disney movies or Disney trivia or whatever. Like it's going to be, stuff about the parks or stuff like how we travel to the parks or how we enjoy the parks.
Yeah.
There's a really fun episode about creating our own park that I'm going to very much enjoy.
Yes.
But like she said, we're going to talk about a lot of other stuff. I'm very excited to talk about our love for musicals, and I'll talk about the musicals that we have seen or the ones we want to see. And if you guys have any ideas or topics that you want us to discuss, or you think that we would be really interested into, that is something that we're definitely open to.
Oh yeah, for sure. If you have
messaging us,
suggestions, ideas, we would love to hear them. I think that would be so fun to
right?
see what other people come up with. But we do have a lineup of things, and we're very excited for what we have planned. So
Yes, I think this really got kind of pushed off, or kind of kickstarted. We tend to get a lot of people asking us how we feel, or what we do for planning trips to Disney, or what we
yep.
do to prepare ourselves for Disney, or what our favorite parts of the park are. And when people ask us that, we just get very excited, because it's something like we can just talk on and on and on for. And it just made sense if we kind of turn that into more of a discussion with one another.
Yeah.
So that everyone else could hear it, just because we love talking about that. We love talking about Disney. We love talking about everything else, including Marvel and Star Wars and everything else. So that's kind of where we want to start this podcast, and that's kind of where we want to lead this podcast. But obviously, some weeks will be very Disney centric. Some weeks will be completely oddball out there. Just stay tuned. We've got some fun stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
So I have just a couple questions that we found that we can ask one another here to get to know us a little bit better more, and B, just kind of see what we might have in store for future episodes here. I've kind of broken down this topic into some fandom questions, so stuff about our favorite fandoms or favorite characters or properties, and then just some random questions that maybe aren't so much Disney centric or Marvel centric or anything like that, but just just getting to know us type of questions.
A well-rounded group of questions to hopefully get to know us better, and hopefully we can relate to some of you guys out there, and you'll like what we have to say, and hopefully keep listening.
Yes. So let's start with question number 1. What is your favorite Disney park?
So for a while, I was like, it's Magic Kingdom, right? Like, that's everyone's favorite.
It's everyone's favorite park.
But it's for sure Epcot. Like, I can definitively say, like, Epcot is my favorite park.
Right. We slept on Epcot big time the first time we went. Really wish we hadn't done that. I know that we'll get into that a little bit more in some other episodes here, but Epcot is definitely our favorite park, hands down. I will try to make as much time as possible for Epcot. We don't do the whole drink around the world type of deal. That's not really our thing.
No, and that's probably one of the main reasons why we slept on it, because that's all we were hearing when we were planning our first Disney trip, was the drinking around the world. Oh, you get such great drinks in Epcot. And I'm like, okay, like, that's cool and all, but we don't drink. Yeah, we don't drink. We will every once in a while if something sounds good, because I definitely want to try a moonshine sour at the America Pavilion the next time we're there. But otherwise, no, like, that's not really appealing to us. So we definitely, I think, slept on Epcot like our first trip, and that was a mistake. So we've definitely learned from that. And yeah, it's really grown to be our favorite park, like individually and as a couple. Like, we love it so much.
So sticking with the Disney park questions, what's your favorite Disney snack? And I feel like this question is very debatable, and it depends on what time we're going and where we're going to. I think it's hard to pick just one Disney snack.
It really is.
It's definitely not a turkey leg. It's definitely
definitely not a turkey leg.
It's definitely not a Mickey pretzel or a Mickey ice cream bar. It's I don't even think it's a churro. Although the Disneyland churros are the best.
Oh yeah, and they're far better than Disney World.
By miles. Leaps and bounds is better. But I think it kind of just depends on where we are and what time we're going.
Yeah, because for sure, like with Epcot, like, we want to try all the festival foods. Like, we want to like get all of those snacks. The 50th anniversary, like, there's been quite a few snacks out for that. I guess I would think my favorite one that we probably tried was the Blondie, the shimmer
Oh, the glitter and shimmer
Glitter and
body
shimmer.
from the
Yeah,
50th. That was at Backlot at Hollywood Studios. That was really, really good.
Yeah, like that one's coming to mind, like when you're saying favorite snack right now. So I don't know. I guess maybe that's my favorite snack right now, or like
maybe, yeah. And then I'm thinking
but,
about the other two parks. I'm like, the only thing that really sticks out for me, and it's not so much a snack, it's just more of like a savory side, is Mr. Kamal's
oh my
fries.
gosh, yes, those are amazing.
Those are they're just French fries with seasoning on them, and you
Mhm.
got some spicy curry ketchup on the side, but it's just chef's kiss.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Disney character?
I have kind of a few favorite characters.
Sure, what are they?
And they're not like main characters. I guess like I like the cute like sidekick characters because I like Jack and Gus Gus. I like the three fairies. I like Fairy Godmother and Bernard and Miss Bianca. Like those are just some of my favorites that are coming to mind right now, and they're not like big main characters. Especially the Rescuers. Like I don't know. That was just a movie that we grew up watching, and I just love it. Like to this day, like it's still like one of my favorite Disney movies.
Mm-hmm.
So
and you kind of got me like into Rescuers a little bit because I never really watched that growing up, and then we started watching Disney movies, especially a lot more during COVID quarantine. So like we were going through movies like every single day, like watching 3 or 4 of them just because we had nothing else to do on the weekends. But I remember watching The Rescuers again. I'm like, yeah, it's such a good movie.
It's such a good movie.
I would say out of like the Fab Five, like the Disney Parks characters, like the original characters, like Donald Duck is probably my favorite.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I guess if we're going like those, I would say Minnie Mouse. I've really grown to like her, and
you have a good taste. She's got a good taste in ears and bows.
yes. So I think yeah, that's kind of relatable. So I've really grown to like her as like yeah, if you're doing just like the Fab Five, that would probably be my favorite out of those.
So Donald Duck's like one of my favorites. Chip and Dale, just the cutest.
Oh, yeah.
They're my favorites to meet. They're just the best. I love Chip and Dale so much. Other than like just straight like maybe park characters, oh, my favorites, a lot of Toy Story. I really like Buzz and Woody. Growing up, Aladdin was like my favorite movie, so like I kind of had like a special place for Aladdin. But now growing up, like, and seeing like all the other movies and kind of comparing them back and forth, like I tend to like go more towards Disney princesses.
Yeah.
I'm a very big Disney princess fan. And I don't feel bad about saying that.
No.
I love all the princesses.
Yeah, like that scene in Wreck-It Ralph 2 with Vanellope.
Oh, yes.
And like, that's like...
Yes, and to be clear, Vanellope is a Disney princess. That you cannot debate that. It is canon. She's a Disney princess. She's of the Von Schweitzes. Like, it's kind of embarrassing if you don't know about her. So she's one of my favorite characters just in general, but just any of the Disney princesses. I really enjoy those. So let's get off of Disney for a little bit. Let's switch over to Hogwarts or to Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
What is your Hogwarts house?
I am a Hufflepuff for sure. Like
100%.
Yeah.
Growing up, I always thought I was a Gryffindor. And I feel like probably like in high school and like a little bit after high school, I was probably like definitely like in Gryffindor, but
yeah,
definitely now, I have changed. I can definitely consider myself a Hufflepuff. And I feel good saying that, but it's just weird, like being like thinking I was like definitely a Gryffindor.
Yeah.
And then now I'm just like, I'm a Hufflepuff now. Yeah. But I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I love being a Hufflepuff. There's nothing wrong with that.
No. Who's your favorite Harry Potter character?
From the books, I really like Ginny, and they did not do her justice in the movies. So when I read the books, like I love Ginny. If you're doing like just the movie, I don't know, probably Hermione. I definitely like relate to Hermione a lot because I'm like such a rule follower and I do like reading books and stuff. But I do like Fred and George, like their characters, they're just so funny. But I don't know. I'd probably say Ginny, but Ginny from the books, not the movies.
Surprised by the rocks. I just saying Ginny from the books. Jenny. Okay, that was silly.
That's okay.
Spoiler: I didn't read all the books. I had them growing up, but I did not read them all. Thanks, Mom, for spending the $50 on the books when they first came out of the Scholastic book fairs.
To be fair, like I didn't finish all the books until later in high school. Like I actually read the last one, but I've read them like several times since then. So
my answer is solely based off of what I'm seeing in the movies, just because that's
fair.
all I really know. I'd probably say my favorite character is probably Hagrid.
Sure.
Just because I feel like I kind of relate to him a little bit. Oops, I should not have said that.
Should not have said that.
So I really like Hagrid. I think he's just the perfect character, the perfect person that Harry needs when he needs them or needs him throughout the series. So Hagrid's definitely on the top of my list there. All right, let's switch fandoms again. Let's go. Do you want to go Star Wars or Marvel?
Let's do Star Wars first.
All right, Star Wars. All right, what's your favorite character from Star Wars?
My favorite character, I don't know. I really like Rey. But then I really like Poe and Finn. So probably between those three, I really like them. I don't know. Do droids count?
Yeah, droids count, of course.
Okay, because I might say BB-8.
Yeah. For full disclosure, I grew up watching the prequels. I will fight you over the prequels. I think that they are really good films. I think Revenge of the Sith is one of the best films out there. When it comes to them in general, I do really like this last trilogy, the sequels. Those are films that we got to experience together as Star Wars films.
Yep, those were the first films that I got to see in theaters because I did not
You weren't really into that.
No, I didn't watch Star Wars until we got together. And that was after we got married. So it's probably been I don't know, 7, 8 years. Years ago, when I first watched all of the movies that were out. So
yeah, so that's kind of where we kind of have some skewed opinions where some of my favorite characters, and I'm surprised that you did not say this.
Jar Jar. I love Jar Jar.
Yes, we really like Jar Jar. Yes. I know that's very divisive. A lot of people don't. I know. People you're wrong if you don't like Jar Jar.
I love Jar Jar, and I didn't really know all the hate on Jar Jar. I watched the movies for the first time. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love Jar Jar, and you're not supposed to love Jar Jar, but I do. So. Yeah, Jar Jar.
Yeah, so Jar Jar. I really like Padme. I think she's such a strong character. So she's one of my favorites. I think Obi-Wan. I'm so excited for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series that's coming out. It's just gonna be so awesome to see that character that I grew up watching in Star Wars films.
Mm-hmm.
That was my trilogy of films growing up, to see that character back again. So those would be definitely my favorite characters in Star Wars. When it comes to Marvel, the toy box is a lot more open when it comes to that.
Yeah.
I said it before, I'm a huge Marvel fan. I've been a Marvel fan since I was growing up. I would say in the last 10, 15 years, got really, really strong back into it. A lot of that had to do with the MCU movies coming out, and that kind of rekindled that flame back into it again. My favorite character hands down is Captain America. I don't care if you're talking about Steve Rogers or Sam Wilson or from the comics even Bucky, but just Captain America in general is just one of my favorite characters, alongside Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel was one I feel I got into right away when her book came out.
Mm-hmm.
She's been one of my favorite characters ever since.
Yeah, and I actually got into her too. That's the only Marvel comic books that I've actually really got into and I've read. Although I'm not up to date because I think there's a couple newer ones that I need to catch up on.
There's a couple combined issues.
Yeah, but yeah, I love her too. So I'm super excited for her show to come out in June. That's gonna be amazing.
And I'm sure you guys will definitely hear our opinions on those shows when those come out. So let's go switch back to Disney for one last one, and then we'll go over a couple quick, just regular random questions. What is your favorite Disney movie?
Oh gosh, that is such a loaded question. Um, and I feel like it's like, I don't know. So I would say like growing up, like favorite movie was probably Beauty and the Beast. But it's not one that I guess like I really reach for as much now. But I would definitely say like Encanto for sure, like is up there as like one of my favorites. Up has always been a favorite. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna stick with that.
I said it kind of earlier before, but like growing up, like Aladdin was kind of like my
Yeah.
favorite movie. I feel, I definitely don't really feel that way now. Like my go-to movie is Hercules.
Oh
I
yeah.
watch that a lot. It's also, I feel like one of the best soundtracks
Oh, for sure.
and probably the best Disney song. I don't think that's a stretch for me to say that. I do think that Go the Distance is probably my favorite Disney song of all time.
Mm-hmm.
So just everything that that movie has to offer, I just absolutely adore it. I could watch that movie all the time and not get bored of it or not get sick of it. So that's my favorite Disney movie.
Yeah.
All right, let's go through and let's go through a couple of just like the random, just getting to know us outside of the fandom questions. Kind of went over what we like to read.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more into the comic books. Saga is something that I feel if you have a very open mind and don't mind a little bit of weirdness
Yeah.
coming from a space adventure, you should definitely give Saga a try. Paper Girls is really, really good. That's going to be coming out as a TV show soon. So I'm very excited to check that one out. Do read quite a bit of Marvel. Captain America and Miss Marvel and Captain Marvel are, my main ones I go to, but read a lot of, I wrote a lot of Spider-Man comics too. So that's been really nice. You have a very unique type of book or genre of books that you like to read a lot.
Yeah, I'm very much into like World War II era kind of books. I I don't know, I find those stories like fascinating and heartbreaking. Um but I think it's just so important just to like read those stories. So yeah, definitely a lot of that. I remember reading Pam Jenna for the first time with the Commandant's Girl in high school, and I've gotten hooked on her books. I've read almost all of them, I think. So she's definitely a favorite. But yeah, I definitely tend to gravitate towards like World War II Holocaust stories. But I don't know. I try to like keep it open because I've definitely read some of the like Disney books that are like
what if this happened?
Yeah, like a twist on a Disney tale. So I've read a couple of those books too. And I really like those because, seeing a story that you've known or grew up with, told from like a different point of view, or like, well, what if this happened? Like those have been very interesting to read too. Yeah, I'm not definitely into comics as much as you. I've read Miss Marvel. That's about it. I definitely would like to give Saga a try. I haven't gotten into that one, but I'd like to see what it's about. So
Yeah.
I definitely need to put it on my list.
I think just in general, we both need to like just be mindful to read more. I think that's the big
Yeah.
thing. Like we both say that we just need to read more, and we just don't get a chance to. But maybe we'll have to like do like a Team Unicorn podcast book club.
Yeah, we'll start a book club too.
What are your favorite like artists or songs?
Okay, so Taylor Swift for sure. Eric Church, Lizzo, Maren Morris. Those are some of the big ones.
Yeah, and I feel like we listen to a lot of the same things. So like,
yeah, we definitely have a lot of similar taste in music. I mean, I guess aside from like our Disney music, because we have a whole Disney playlist.
Right.
So we'll just throw that on sometimes and just listen to Disney songs.
Right. And I think my music taste is a little bit more eclectic as well than yours. I'm not saying that yours is green or anything, but I will definitely go in between from listening to like Broadway to Taylor Swift to Lizzo, but then I'm gonna throw in Post Malone, or then I'm gonna throw in Kendrick Lamar, or I'm gonna throw in a band called the Lost Bros. If you haven't heard of them, they do Disney songs, but they kind of do like a punk rock pop twist on them. Shout out to the Lost Bros. If you ever are listening to this or reading or watching this, this is I absolutely love the Lost Bros. So it's a really eclectic taste, but I feel like I gotta listen to a little bit of everything, and I'll get into like 90s grunge, and then I'll change to like 80s rock. We'll play this game a lot.
I was just gonna bring that up.
We'll play this game where like I'll playing something on Spotify, and I'll be like, "Say me, who sings this?" Or we'll listen to them at the same time, but we won't know who's actually singing it or like what the song actually is. And like I'm just getting them like that.
Oh yeah, he'll get it within like a second or two of the song playing, and I'm just like, I don't even know. Like I'm really bad at this game. Especially like when it's like 70s, 80s rock kind of stuff. I didn't really grow up listening to that stuff, and yeah, so it's a fun game that we like to play, and I do very bad at it, but
if we ever went on to like beat Shazam or something,
oh yeah,
Tyler
would win.
We got to be teammates, but you just have to make sure to you have to make sure to invite me on it. All right. So next question is, if you could live anywhere in the world or just anywhere, like where would it be and why?
So I feel like my answer would probably be close to the Disney parks. But realistically, like I just like with the climate and like weather and stuff down there, like I don't know if we actually could. But just the thought of being close to the Disney parks, like I think would be amazing. But if it wasn't that, I've always liked the idea of Washington, D.C. We visited there back in like 2016, and I really love it. And I really want to go back. So
I really want to go there for cherry blossom season.
Oh, for sure.
Next season.
And I think that would be like a more similar like weather that we're like used to. And plus it's like really pretty, and I just love all like the historical buildings and all of that stuff. So I think that would be really fun.
Yeah. I think that going to live by Disney would be very awesome. I think that'd be something that we would definitely be really into. However, I do not want to be considered a Florida man. I know I'm not like Florida man, but like I'm a man in Florida, and I just don't even want that like rough parallel between the two. Like I don't like the idea of being Florida man. And I don't know, just the idea of living in the South just doesn't, I guess, appeal to me too much. We've gone down to your dad who lives down in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
We've gone down there a couple summers, and it is just hot and gross, and I don't like it. Don't sign me up for that.
Yeah.
So as appealing as living close to Disney would be, because we get to go there all the time, just living anywhere in the South in general, or in like Florida or whatever, like I just don't know if I'm like, personally right now I'm not ready for it.
Yeah it would definitely just be to be close to the parks. Like that's like the most appealing, but then I'm like, it's probably not worth it to move. Just
at least right now.
Yeah, at least right now.
What would be your dream job, or what is your dream job?
Dream job, well, I don't know, being a Disney vlogger would be pretty fun. But yeah, I don't know, I think doing anything with dogs, like if I could just help like rescue dogs, or if I just got to like play with dogs or work something with dogs, like I think that would be really fun. Or even maybe just doing this, like just talking about things that you love and sharing your opinions on Disney and Marvel and Star Wars. And like that would just be,
that'd be super awesome.
Yeah.
Obviously my dream job would require me to recant my answer from from the last question, but like I think it'd be really awesome, and I really would love to be a PhotoPass member down in Disney and take pictures of people and take pictures of families. That's one of my favorite parts about the parks, is that they have those people there that are capturing those memories. I really enjoy photography and editing pictures and like getting just like the best angles. When we were in Disney, was it for our November trip? It was just the two of us.
Yeah.
We went to Animal Kingdom, and like I purposely like, we're going to Animal Kingdom. We're going to go to Pandora at night, see all of the stuff lit up. It's very beautiful there. like we weren't even going on any rides. We weren't eating anything there. We just spent like a good like half hour, 40 minutes almost,
Yeah.
just walking around, finding like all like the beautiful parts of that park and just taking photographs of it.
Yeah.
And they just turned out so awesome. And like that's just finding like these beautiful spots in these theme parks to take pictures. I just really enjoy. So I think like if I got that opportunity to share like my love of finding those really awesome spots with other people, or like getting like that perfect family picture for someone who's there on their first time, like that would just be so awesome to do. But would require me to live down in Florida, and I'm not ready for that.
Yeah, you would be so good at it though. Like you just have that eye, and like you just know what angle to take the pictures, and you edit them so perfectly. Like they just look amazing. So
Thank you.
You'd be so good at that.
Maybe one day.
Yeah, maybe one day.
Maybe that'll be like my midlife crisis or retirement.
Yeah, you'll be a retired Florida man.
Yeah. be a permanent snowbird.
Yeah.
All right. I think we covered a lot of stuff here today. I don't know if you want to get into any more of these questions at all, or if you want to maybe save some of them for another podcast.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this was a really good first episode. Like, get to know us, and yeah.
And we obviously want to get to know the listeners. Like, if there's something that you want to like know about, or if you have questions, or if you want to hear our opinions on something, like, I think it'd be really, really fun to get that feedback, and we can kind of build a really awesome, tight community with our listeners.
Yeah, and if there's any of these questions that we answered that you want to answer, like we would love to hear that as well. So if you want to drop comments on our Instagram
or the YouTube if you're watching it that way, I think our Spotify and Anchor page might have some spots where you can leave messages, or we might be able to do some polls on there too. So very excited to get some interaction with everyone and kind of build up a nice little community on the Team Unicorn podcast.
Yeah. I'm really excited to see where this goes. And if it turns out to be nothing for us, then I'm 100% okay with that, because this is something that we've talked about for a while, mostly like jokingly, but then like once we were getting serious, I'm like, yeah, like I want to do this. This sounds fun. So
right. I think as soon as we got the microphone, we're like, we're full and we're just diving in head first, and we're going to figure it out as we go. And it's just going to work out, and we're going to have so much fun with it. And we hope that everyone else has a lot of fun with
come
it.
Along for the ride. And like we've said before, I think we have a lot of fun stuff coming up, and I'm just really excited to talk to you with it, and our listeners, and hopefully we can just create like a really good community of people and have fun with it.
And if not, we just get to hang out, talk with one another, talk with everyone that's listening here for like an hour every week, and just enjoy each other's company.
That sounds great.
All right, well, for the Team Unicorn podcast, I'm Tyler,
and I'm Sammy,
and it's been magical.